It's just past midnight. Sunday, September 12th, 1971. Two police officers stand outside the vault door of Lloyds Bank, Baker Street, London. They knock. No answer. Of course not, it's the middle of the night. The vault is sealed. They check the door. Intact. They walk the floor. No signs of forced entry anywhere. They want to open the vault, but a time lock prevents access until Monday morning. Nothing looks wrong. They leave. What they don't know is that on the other side of that door, 4 men are holding their breath. They heard the knock. Radio's off. Not moving. Not speaking. Standing completely still in the dark, waiting for the footsteps to fade. The footsteps fade. Silence. They look at each other. They get back to work. To understand how 4 men end up holding their breath in a sealed London bank vault, you go back to a single evening in 1970. A flat in North London. A man sits alone, reading. His name is Anthony Gavin. Former military. Meticulous. The kind of man you walk past on the street and immediately forget, which, as it turns out, is exactly the kind of man you want to be when you're planning what he's planning. He's reading a Sherlock Holmes story, specifically The Red-Headed League, published in 1891. A story in which criminals rent a shop basement, dig a tunnel 40 feet underground, and emerge directly inside the vault of the bank next door. Conan Doyle wrote it as fiction, millions of people have read it and moved on. Gavin reads it as a blueprint. The question he can't stop asking is simple. Is anyone actually watching underneath? In 1970s London, bank security is built entirely around what people can see. Vault doors, impenetrable. Alarms, sophisticated. Every penny of investment flows toward the visible threat. Below the surface, the basements of neighbouring buildings, the clay and brick sitting between the vault floor and the street. Nothing. No sensors. No one watching. He's already chosen his target. The Lloyds Bank branch at 187 Baker Street holds hundreds of private safety deposit boxes belonging to some of the wealthiest, most secretive people in Britain. Politicians, old money, people who need somewhere to keep things that cannot be connected to their name. Cash, documents, photographs, things never meant to be found. For a man planning to tunnel in from underneath and open every single one, it's a perfect target. Now he needs a team. His first recruit is Reginald Tucker, not chosen for strength, not for criminal connections. Tucker has a clean record, no name in any police database, which means Tucker can walk into Lloyds Bank, open an account, rent a safety deposit box, and visit the vault as many times as he likes. For 3 months, that's exactly what he does. Tucker dresses well, makes small deposits, chats politely with the cashiers. Every visit he descends into the vault, umbrella in hand, not for the weather, he uses the tip of it to measure. Distance between cabinets, width of the room, height of the ceiling. Each visit he memorizes a little more. Goes home, writes it down. By the time Tucker closes his account, shakes hands with the teller, and walks out onto Baker Street for the last time, the gang has a precise map of a vault they have never officially broken into. Then, in May 1971, something falls into their lap. 2 doors down from Lloyd's, a leather goods shop called Le Sac puts its lease up for sale. Gavin measures the depth. The floor of that basement sits almost exactly level with the floor of the Lloyds Bank vault, 40 feet away. A 64-year-old associate named Benjamin Wolfe buys the lease. The shop front is whitewashed, shuttered, a handwritten sign in the window, and in the basement, in the dark, the digging begins. They work weekends only. 8 tons of London clay, moved by hand, timbered as they go. One man sits on a nearby rooftop with a walkie-talkie watching the street. The gang communicates on CB radio. Open frequency. Unencrypted. Anyone with the right receiver can hear every word. A small oversight in an otherwise precise plan. Then, late summer 1971, luck arrives. Council roadworks near Baker Street keep triggering the vault's trembler alarms. False alarm after false alarm. The bank's security company, frustrated, makes a decision. They turn the alarms off until the roadworks end. Gavin has a contact inside that security company. The information reaches him within days. He picks up the phone. They have a window. They don't know how long it lasts. They move now. Friday, September 10th, 5 p.m. Baker Street empties out. 4 men descend into the basement of Lassac and begin the final stretch of tunnel. 65 hours until the bank reopens. The thermal lance fills the space with toxic smoke immediately. They switch to controlled explosives. The blast is absorbed by 40 feet of clay and the noise of the city above. And then there is a hole. 12 inches wide. 14 inches long. In the floor of Lloyds Bank vault. Gavin goes through first. He pulls himself up and stands. The silence is absolute. The city above him, 8 million people, completely unaware. 260 safety deposit boxes lining the walls in front of him. 4 months of digging. A Sherlock Holmes story from 1891. Here he is. One by one, the others come through behind him. They get to work methodically, box by box. Cash. Jewellery, documents, photographs, things tied to names that cannot afford to be connected to these things. They fill bag after bag. Then, 11 p.m. Saturday night, a man 1 mile away turns on his radio. Robert Rollins is a radio enthusiast. He lives on Wimpole Street. He's scanning frequencies on a Saturday evening looking for Radio Luxembourg. He doesn't find Radio Luxembourg. What comes through his speaker instead are voices. Men's voices. Calm. Businesslike. Talking about a bank. About boxes. About how much they've taken so far. We've got about 400,000. We'll let you know when we're coming out. Rollins goes still. He calls his local station. A constable answers, Saturday night, peak time for hoax calls. Skeptical. Tells him to record it and call back. Rollins records it. By Tam, he's on with Scotland Yard directly. Senior officers come to his flat in the middle of the night. They sit in his living room and listen. They agree a robbery is actively in progress. Right now, somewhere in London. Rollins tells them something critical. The transmissions have a range of 1 mile. 1 mile from where he is sitting. Scotland Yard sends officers to search 750 banks across London. Rollins gave them a 1 mile radius. They search 10 times further. Officers arrive at Baker Street. They knock on the vault door. The vault is sealed. No signs of forced entry anywhere visible. Nothing looks wrong. They leave. On the other side of that door, 4 men are holding their breath.
We've got about 400,000. We'll let you know when we're coming out.
Sunday evening. The bags are full. The boxes are empty. One by one, they lower themselves back through the hole, crawl 40 feet through the dark, and walk out into the London night. Monday morning, bank staff descend into the vault. Between £1.5 and £3 million, gone. In today's money, over 50 million. Of that, 231,000 is ever recovered. 4 men are eventually convicted. 12 years each. The alarms expert, known only as Gervais, vanishes. 2 others known to investigators as Little Legs and TH are never identified. Not then, not now. Within days of the robbery, press coverage stops. A D-notice is quietly issued, a formal government request to Fleet Street editors. Stand down on this story. They comply. No legal force required, just a request. They don't ask why. There is no precedent for a bank robbery triggering a national security suppression order in Britain. None. Banks get robbed. It's a crime. Not a state secret, unless what was inside those boxes was a state secret. The most persistent account from sources who surface in the years that follow, some of those boxes belong to people connected to the very top of British society. To politicians, to the royal family itself. The theory is straightforward. Someone powerful needs certain boxes emptied. Not robbed, emptied. And a gang of criminals who have no idea whose boxes they're opening have provided the perfect cover. A robbery that touches everything. That lets whoever needed it stand up and say they were simply a victim, like everyone else. Nobody has ever confirmed this. Nobody has ever officially denied it. Because the full intelligence file sits sealed in the National Archives until 2071. 100 years after the heist. Reserved, specifically reserved, for material that could cause serious harm not in the 1970s, not today, but across multiple generations yet to come. Of the 260 boxes emptied, the full contents are never disclosed. Not one owner ever comes forward to say what was taken from them. Not one. And Robert Rowlands, the man who heard the whole thing live, recorded it, called Scotland Yard, gave them a 1-mile radius, is initially threatened with prosecution under the Wireless Telegraphy Act for listening to unlicensed transmissions. They never charge him. Lloyds Bank sends him a cheque for $2,500. He spends it on a new radio. The files will be opened in 2071. Whatever is inside them has been worth protecting for 100 years.